Okay, so the first step in this video is going to be us setting up the main hard drive for Linux. Now, some people like to just just reformat it with the official firmware, but you can also use this step to recover if Petitboot goes bad. Put the drive down. Computer, manage. Most people can just format it if they're using Linux, so just fdisk most people would use. Disk manager. It should find a drive, master boot record. Go down to it. And then just simple volume to overwrite it. Just quick format. And then it usually only takes about 10 seconds, not even that sometimes. But that's all I need to do for that. Now this is how I just set it up for actual custom firmware setup. And then we put it back in the PS3. You start the PS3, you're gonna get an error saying that the vflash or the firmware itself is corrupt. And to plug in a USB adapter with the PS3 controller, and then put in a USB drive that actually has the 3.55 firmware on there. And let me make sure I have the 3.55 original put in before I flash. Okay. Actually, no, I don't have it. Okay. PS3 setup, update, and then we have the OFW, move it to PS3, and then update. Now note these have to be in all caps, so, and then that'll take a little bit. Now you don't necessarily have to do this. I just like to do it since it just removes everything off the drive. So if you're cautious, you can do it this way, but it needs a USB to SATA adapter, or you could just plug it into your computer. Or just format it the usual way in the recovery menu. It's what you would usually do. But this is how I do it. Okay, let's flash. Okay, then you'll press Start Select after you have the USB drive in there with the firmware for 3.55 or 3.41 depending on which version you get. And then as you can see, the system partition will be formatted and then it'll copy everything over. Hold down Start and Select for at least 5 seconds, and it should start. This will flash the OFW for 3.55, and then I'll be back after it's done. Okay, so it flashed, and now we're setting up for the secondary update for it to finalize the actual update. This part I'm just probably going to speed up since it'll be a little faster. Okay, so now that we're on the 3.5 OFW, we're going to go here. There. Okay, let me get the flash drive. Plug it into my computer. Get a flash drive, change the update because I like that backup of it. And then update the custom firmware. Just drag that on over to your USB drive. Let's rename it so that it actually sees it. And then wait for it to stop. Pull it out. Plug it in. And then let's go to the system update. Update via storage media. 3.55 Otheros. And let's install. Again, I'm probably going to speed this up, so. Okay, let's check what firmware we have. And there you go, 3.55. Okay, let's go to install packages. I usually just hit triangle and install all packages. Since we're just going to install them all anyways, it's faster. Okay, there we go. Okay, first we're going to do is delete vflash region 6. And then you'll get an error saying that you should probably reflash it, but just hit the have the PS3 controller hooked up to it, and just press the PS3 button twice. It goes straight in and reboots, and loads perfectly fine. Now we're going to do this again with vflash 5. Note, we're probably going to make this into one package eventually, but for now the double beeps are just for debugging purposes so that we know that they're actually doing it and they're actually working. And again, connect the controller via the USB cable and press the PlayStation button, and then press it again, and it boots right back up. Now let's create vflash 5 and 6 again, in that order. 5, and again, same thing as before. Now let's create 6. That was a lot faster. Okay, as before, just double press the PS3 button. Apparently I did it in the wrong order. Apparently you also have to delete the vflash 7. As before. After deleting, we're going to create it. vflash 7. And again, it's going to tell you to just go through it with the PS button. So just double tap that. And now we're going to resize it. And now here's where it becomes tricky, because most people have the best effect if they restart it, but some people have reported that they can just load up Petitboot and they'll be able to see it regardless. So what we're going to do is shut it down and then start it back up. It's going to hang for a second or two, and then it's going to tell you that it needs to format the drive. And you're going to say yes, and then yes again. And then you're going to restart the system yet again. And now we're going to install Otheros, boot Otheros, and then reboot that package. We're gonna start by install Otheros. Now this takes about 20 to 30 seconds depending on how fast your USB drive is. You just let it copy the file over and then it should beep twice. There it goes. Now it's going to push you back out to the XMB. And now you're going to boot Otheros. This sets a flag in the hypervisor to boot the Petitboot instead of the regular XMB. And now we're going to reboot through the package file. If you do it just manually, then it won't actually go through. And then you just have to boot Otheros again and then just hit the reboot package and then you're back in. There you go. You installed Petitboot.